Hello students, welcome to Legacy IAS Academy. In today's video, we are going to discuss about the concept of blood money that has been making the news headline in the context of the a nurse from India who is facing a death sentence in the Yemen, Middle Eastern countries or a country situated in Arabian Peninsula as we can refer it as. So let us try to understand in detail what do we mean by the term blood money and how it can save her from the gallows of the death. Now, to give you the brief context of this topic, Government of India, especially Ministry of External Affairs, has said that it is extending all type of possible help to the Nimisha Priya, that is the nurse who is caught in the Yemen. And this has come after the President of Yemen has decided to not use his pardoning power to pardon her. Rather, the Rashad al-Amini, who is the Yemen's president, has sanctioned her death sentence, and this death sentence was given to her somewhere back in the 2018, later on confirmed by the Supreme Court of the Yemen, and it is because he allegedly has murdered a Yemeni citizen who was also her business partner. So if we try to understand now that what this entire case was all about. So as we know that Nimisha Priya with her family settled in Yemen and she was working as a nurse. Later on they wanted to establish their own clinic, but as per the Yemeni law it is not allowed unless and until you have a local partner there. That is business partner which you're talking about. Now in this context it is believed that she had to endure years of torture because the business partner somehow has morphed the photograph, that is original wedding photograph of the Nimisha Priya, and portrayed himself as her husband in the Yemeni government database. And this happened when the family, that means the husband and child of the nurse, could not reach in the Yemen because of the civil war situation that has developed there. The nurse alone was staying in the Yemen. So this is the overall understanding of the issue, and the physical and mental torture has caused her to take the extreme action with the help of one of her friends, where he tried to sedate the person of the Yemen origin, and the dose which she wanted to give was much more higher, that has resulted in the fatality. And later on, with the help of the friends, she chopped the bodies and dumped it in some of the water bodies nearby. So because of this, she was on run, but later on she was arrested, and 2017 was the year when all these incidents have taken place. Now, as the last resort, the legal resort, talk about the pardoning power of the president. Now, since it also has not worked in her favor, the only option which could save her from the certain death is the concept of blood money. Now, we know that in many of the developed countries or democracies, largely we can say, the capital punishment, that means the death sentence, the provision for death sentence for murder or any other crime, have been largely abolished. However, this is a norm in most of the Islamic countries where death sentence is given very commonly for the murder related crimes. Now, apart from this, in the Sharia law, which largely the countries, the Islamic countries specifically including Yemen follows, there is not only a justice which focuses upon retribution. Rather, the part of the justice or aspect of justice also emphasizes the qualities of forgiveness and compensation to the sufferer's loved one. Because obviously, if you try to understand about the Sharia law, which date back to the medieval time, that time specifically the main members of the family were largely responsible for taking care of the family by going out to work. So if especially a male member is killed, it causes loss of money, loss of revenue, loss of resources to the family. So a compensation that can be awarded to the family of victim is nothing but a type of what we can call as a compensation for the killing or the death of the individual. Now in this context, as per the Sharia law, the victim's family has the right to decide the punishment for the offender, and even they have the right to award forgiveness to the accused. And forgiveness, if it is given in the exchange for monetary compensation, this concept in Sharia law is referred as diyya, which loosely in English translates to blood money. In simple terms, now if you understand, blood money refers to the concept where the accused or the convict can give a certain amount of monetary compensation money to the victim's family, and in exchange of that, victim's family will say that okay, we are ready to forgive you, and then based on that, the country's government can decide to not award death sentence in this context to the nurse Nimisha Priya. Now, if you try to understand the origin of the concept that is blood money, it traces back to the Quran. And in the Quran, it is mentioned in the verse 178, that is Surah Al-Baqarah. Now, what exactly is mentioned here? If we translate it loosely in English, it says that, "Oh believers, the law of retaliation is set for you in the cases of murder, a free man for a free man, a slave for a slave, and a female for a female." Now, what basically this last sentence is trying to say? If you try to understand the background in which all this, what you can say, the concepts came into existence before the arrival of Islam in the Arabian Peninsula, a lot of civil war like situation between different sects was very common. So in this context, basically it is believed that many of the person belonging to a particular clan, they said that no matter whether a slave from our clan has been killed, no matter whether a woman from our clan has been killed, as a retaliation, as a revenge, we will kill another man from the other clan. And now this was something which was not considered as a principle, following the principle of equality, and that is why the concept was given that if a free man has been killed, you can only take the life of a free man from the other clan. If a slave has been killed, you can only take a life of slave from the other clan. For the killing of slave, you cannot take a life of any free man from the other clan from which the accused largely belongs to. That is why it basically gives us a concept of equality, that free man for a free man, slave for a slave. And similarly, if woman was killed by a person of a particular clan, then as a retaliation, only the woman can be killed. So this was largely, we can understand, is the concept here. Now there is a lot of arguments and counter arguments that what exactly this verse means. So maybe there are a lot of diverging opinions as well. Now if the offender is pardoned by the victim's guardian, as we have discussed before, that is promoted under the concept of Sharia, then blood money should be decided fairly and payment should be made courteously. And this is a concession and a mercy from your Lord. But whoever transgresses after that will suffer a painful punishment. So this is something, if someone do not agree to it, in that context, Quran says that they will suffer divine punishment. So that is from where we can trace the origin of this concept. Now it is here the government of India's role come into picture, because for negotiation the government will have to play an active role, because due to the continuous civil war like situation going on in Yemen, it is almost impossible for any common citizen of India to travel there and risk their lives. So in this context, November 2023, Government of India already has sanctioned a dispatch of $40,000 to initiate the talks to release Nimisha Priya. However, it is largely believed that somewhere she might have to pay a sum between $300,000 to $400,000, and to procure such large amount of sum, in year 2020, a group by the name of Save Nimisha Priya International Foundation came into existence, which is try to generate such huge amount of money by the process of crowdfunding. Now, the Save Nimisha Priya Foundation believes that government can intervene, and intervention of government will help in delaying the execution. Not only that, government through its resources and with the contact of the Yemeni government can try to locate the tribal leaders and victims' family and bring them to the table for the talks. And if it indeed becomes successful, then Nimisha Priya's life could be spared through the financial settlement or blood money. Now, this will not be the first case or such kind of instances. Before also, a person from Kerala who used to drive auto in the Kerala went to Saudi Arabia to drive a car of the Saudi Arabian person. He also accidentally killed the son of the Saudi Arabian citizen. And as a result, he was awarded 18 years in prison and later was sentenced to death. But again, he was able to pay almost 34 crore rupees of money, again by crowdfunding through various businessmen, politicians, and what you can call as the actors and all. And then his life was spared. He was safely able to return back to the India. Similarly, in the case of Pakistan, a CIA agent by the name of Raymond Davis, his life was also spared because he murdered two citizens of Pakistan, but by giving blood money almost to a sum of $3 to $4 million, he was able to return back to his home country. So these are the two examples of the successes where blood money has been able to spare the life of the people. And same we can hope that will happen in the recent case of Nimisha Priya. So that is all about this particular video. I hope you understood the concept of blood money, or diyya as it's called. If you like the video, please hit the like button, share it with your fellow aspirants, as well as subscribe to our channel for more such helpful content. Thank you very much.